think we all know that building a foundation that is firm and strong, is the only way to build a house. And that is the same concept that applies to using data to make decisions within your environment. Now, I know the race is on to get the shiniest penny, the best looking visualization, and the most robust artificial intelligence from our data. But at the end of the day, the data still comes from one place, and that is your data infrastructure. And without data governance and without increasing the quality of that data, you're going to be in trouble very, very fast. So let's talk a little bit about another concept in how to get your data a little bit better. Remember, you don't have to tackle every single one of these concepts at once. Take them one at a time. And as you do, you will see great improvement in your environment. So stay tuned. We're going to jump into detecting duplicate records. So have you ever looked at a report and thought, wait a minute, why is John Doe showing up twice in this report? This obviously is a duplicate record. And today, we're going to dive into why detecting these duplicates is a must for clean and reliable data, and how you can actually get started on that today. So stay tuned. The video will be about 8 minutes long, so we hope you stay on till the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the first slide here. We have a series, I think, of 5 different images here, but let's talk on this one about duplicate records. So duplicate records are defined, it happens, I guess, when the same data, like a contact, email, or product name, is entered more than once. Now, this may seem harmless, but they pile up quickly and can create serious problems within your environment. Remember, you want to kind of nip this in the bud before it grows into a larger problem. And some of those issues that come of it are the reports become very inaccurate. So this means even when you're using visualization or artificial intelligence, you're not going to get the right information out. And folks, it only takes once for leadership to not trust the data coming out of a system. And then you're going to spend a lot of time trying to repair that damage. You want to get your data right so that the data that gets produced, right, the intelligence, whether it's AI or visualization, is accurate every single time. In addition, the systems, of course, it creates a slowdown and increases storage costs. When you have duplicate records, it's just going to do that, right? There's no sense in having it because it's a duplicate. And of course, as we discussed, decision-making becomes extremely risky. So imagine your SharePoint list is showing the same customer twice, one updated and one outdated. Which one can you trust? This is the number one reason why we want to make sure that we get those duplicate records out of our environment. So a little more on why detecting really makes a difference. In a resource-limited environment, which I think almost all of our environments now qualify as resource-limited, think small servers, shared databases, or tight budgets. Any of these scenarios, duplicate records waste precious storage, memory, and processing power. Cleaning these up early helps you speed up the systems, save storage, improve analytic accuracy, and it saves money on future cleanup costs. And I think the last one, and we talked about the top 3 already, but the last one, really key here, future cleanup costs. And take it from one who has experience with extremely large data sets. This is a very difficult process to clean up bad data, and it takes a ton of time. So this is a high impact, low cost win for your data governance strategy. So detecting these duplicates really does matter. So how can we actually fix this? So for example, let's look at this is a real life example here where we have a SharePoint list with customer information. Notice that two people far left there are accidentally entered twice with the same email address. Now, using Power Automate, you can create a flow. It's a simple flow too, and you can check this out. Stay tuned at the end. There'll be a URL that you can go to get some of these sample flows for free. But here, what we want to do basically is take, for example, an email address. Now, when we do comparison on key fields, we want to make sure that what we're comparing against is predictable, right? And follows a similar format. So, for example, an email address for most organizations, whatever your organization is, it doesn't matter, but it's consistently applied to everyone in the organization. So in this example, it's john.doe@abc.company or abc.com or whatever, right? So the standard is first name dot last name. Whatever that standard is, pick something that can be consistently compared inside of Power Automate. Things that you might want to avoid comparing is a name, for example. Now, names, all of us, we can share first names, we can share last names, and then the spelling of our names can be different as well, right? So somebody may spell, I can't even think, but in today's world, we spell words and names differently. So name is probably not a good key indicator. A social security number, although not suggested you have that in any form of data that's not absolutely protected, but some sort of unique numeric identifier, numeric or alpha identifier. All of those good as consistent compare points within your environment. And then you want to flag those duplicates. So within SharePoint and PowerPoint, you can actually flag those and you can automatically merge that information, right? All through automation, all using Power Automate, or you could do a human in the loop to review the information and then make a decision on which direction you want to go with that duplicate data. And boom, fewer duplicates, and now your SharePoint list stays clean. So just one example of how to do that. So let's take a look at some 7 steps here, and we'll walk through each one of these steps. Step 1, you want to define what constitutes a duplicate. So is it and we talked about this, right? Is it the same email address? Is it whatever, but it's got to be consistent and repeatable. That's the key message here. Consistent and repeatable. Set the rule that's consistent that I can always compare all of my data to. Number 2, inventory your data sources. So know where to look, whether that be a database, a spreadsheet, SharePoint list, anywhere that your data lives. So inventory and understand what your data sources are. Step 3, select or build detection tools. And we talked a little bit about Power Automate. You can use Excel, SQL scripts, Power Query. There's lots of options that you can do for detecting and building where those duplicates are. Clean up your existing data. Step number 4, run a batch job, for example, to fix old duplicates, merge or archive records smartly. And when I say smartly, really I mean using automation, again, a consistent and repeatable rule. Step 5, automate those duplicate checks, right? Add these automatic duplicate checks in your daily workflow. For example, when new data comes in, we want to make sure that the data coming in is not a duplicate of data that exists within the environment. This is a critical component. It'll help you actually manage your environment more robustly. Step number 6, document and report, right? Document what the process is. Step number 7 is report, monitor. But in documentation, let's write down those rules that are used. For example, This will allow us to ensure that repeatability and consistency among our environment today and in the future. And then number 7, monitor and report. Set up a dashboard of some sort, maybe Power BI, for example, using Power Automate to populate, maybe built upon that list that you're running, on how you're tracking duplicates and adding value to the environment. So in summary here, this is an effort. I like to try to think of things as effort versus impact. This is a low effort. This automation is very simple. The process is actually very simple as well, but the impact is huge. Cleaner system, cleaner data, faster systems, better decisions, and ultimately at the end, happier users. And so here, final thoughts. Like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions, but I strongly encourage you to go out if you found this helpful. I have a bunch of data governance blueprint that has literally hundreds of files that you can select from. You can catch that out at forgetsx.com. Good luck.